Hello, 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 and what is going on, everybody? It is Master of the TDS, and I am joined by my lovely wife,
WritingRaven.
And we're back for another episode of Psycho-Synopsis.
Indeed.
The segment where we summarize all the psycho for you. Just a scattering of topics throughout the week, all summarized into a neat little package for you to consume at your leisure.
You are welcome.
So this is probably going to be the last Psycho-Synopsis we're going to have for a little while, because we do have some holidays coming up for us, so we're going to be a little more busy.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind. We still will have content.
Oh, absolutely, we're going to have content.
But Psycho-Synopsis is a more time-based thing.
Oh, absolutely. And we're not going to have the time.
We have a couple topics to discuss today, so without further ado,
let us bring in our first client, starting with Oreos.
Be an ally. Give us your money.
Figures.
The beloved sandwich cookie has debuted a new short film directed by Alice Wu to tell a sweet, touching story about the family journey of a young LGBTQ+ man.
Why, though?
These companies that pander to these people, which, let's be honest, that's what this is, pandering.
It's always pandering.
They do so without actually caring. Because to them, it's not necessarily about making a statement, it's about money. That's what they want to do.
Except they never get any money from it, and how many years has it been and they still haven't learned that?
I don't know. Long story short is, when I think of Oreos, I don't think of, quote, coming out, end quote.
I think of a tasty cookie.
Yeah, it's a cookie. You make cookies. Make cookies and be quiet.
Just stick with making cookies.
I don't understand why this even had to be a thing. I'm not saying that the movie was bad.
It was odd, but,
It's just not something you expect from a company that makes cookies.
seriously. Just stick with what you're good at and just make cookies.
So, don't know what else to say here. Obviously a blatant attempt at a cash grab.
Which failed.
I would assume so, anyways. They really just want money, and I'm not sure this is exactly the way to get it, but I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to say here.
Yeah, me neither. We just aggressively eat our Oreos now.
Yeah, and I'll say this, Oreos do come out when you go to the toilet.
After it's digested, yes.
So I guess in some sense it makes sense, but again, I just don't see a point, honestly.
There is none.
It happened, so we're reporting on it.
Yay?
I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
But let's move on. Next up, we have Elon Musk and Twitter.
Elon Musk slaps Twitter. This website can fit so many salty weirdos in it.
Hehehehe.
For years, Twitter has essentially served as ground zero when it comes to the current culture wars fought between the woke left and everyone else. The company has sided with the radicals on almost every occasion, booting dissenting voices from the platform for anything that even rubs shoulders with the slightest infraction. Now, shout out to DataRacer117.
Indeed, for finding all of these tweets.
That are making up the background. Elon Musk is an interesting person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's being nice saying that. Is he the person that's going to save Twitter? I have no idea.
I don't even know if Twitter can be saved, but the fact that he said, we need to do something about this, and they all said, why don't you just make your own or buy it? Your terms are acceptable.
Yeah, so he bought like a controlling stock in Twitter, and now he is one of the current on the board of Twitter.
And the largest shareholder, which means he is the majority owner of Twitter.
Now, Twitter's come out with all these kinds of statements saying that they're not going to let him affect as much or whatever. I don't think that's necessarily true.
Yeah, and aren't there employees like saying they're going to quit now?
Yeah, some of them are parody. But I do know that they're already working on an edit button, which is something that we've actually wanted for quite some time.
I mean, Instagram has an edit button, so why doesn't Twitter?
Here's the thing, though. Twitter is not necessarily something that I would say is a great place to be.
Nah, it's definitely a cesspool. But then again, TikTok is worse.
Yeah, but a lot of people question, like, what is the point of this? Well, here's the thing. Making new platforms has happened before in the past, and they haven't really done very well.
No, you hardly hear about them these days. I mean, we're on some of them, but we don't use them as often.
Yeah, we're doing it because we support alt tech and we want to help, but at the same time, it's still something that hasn't really caught on. Twitter is something that, regardless of how many people actually are using it versus how many people have bots or alt accounts or whatever, is a platform that is used majorly by a lot of people, or at least a majority of people versus other social media platforms.
Yes.
Having more control over it is not necessarily a bad thing. Now, will they necessarily let him have as much control as he wants, or let him actually have as much influence as he wants to have? I don't know. But I can't see this as a bad thing.
Yeah, me neither. It's definitely hilarious to watch everyone implode.
Yeah, they're so angry they think he's gonna, like, censor speech or whatever, and it's like, look, he's not the CEO. He's on the board. The board does make a lot of decisions, but there's multiple people on the board.
Yeah, he's not necessarily the one in charge. And you saying he's gonna censor free speech? You guys have been doing that plenty yourselves.
That's true. It begs the question, can Twitter even be saved?
I doubt it.
I don't know.
I'm just eating popcorn at this point, enjoying the drama.
Yeah, well, at this point I'll say that, you know, Twitter is a good platform as in what it was made to be versus what it's become.
Fair.
Originally it was made to be a social media platform, kind of a thing, connect with friends, post stuff, and that's what it was in the beginning, and it was very good.
It's definitely what we use it for.
Yeah, so we have found our bright spots here. There are weirdos who, you know, try to cancel people or attack people on there, and that's always par for the course. But having a little bit more equal regulation of the rules, an edit button, maybe a couple other tweaks behind the scenes would not necessarily be something that I think would make or break Twitter, but it would definitely be an improvement on an established platform that many people use regardless of whether they like it or not.
I can only hope that he brings a level of neutrality to who gets banned and whatever.
I don't know how much power he'll actually have. I think that he wants to have more power than he might actually get, and that's okay. It sounds like he's the kind of person who's willing to back up his words with put his money where his mouth is.
Well, he does have the money to do so.
Well, he already did.
That's true. He bought the largest stock of Twitter.
I'm interested to see where this goes. It's funny to see people like melting down over this because really nothing's happened yet, so melting down and getting all upset doesn't actually do anything.
Again, popcorn!
A lot of people mad, a lot of people excited. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm kind of like, let's see where it goes.
I'm just sitting back and watching.
I mean, I'm not mad, mind you. At this point, anything can make Twitter better, I would think.
Like popcorn.
You and your popcorn.
What? I like popcorn.
And?
This is a very big popcorn moment.
If you keep eating popcorn like that, you're gonna get sick.
Meh. Next up in our waiting room, we have Batwoman.
The torturous journey might finally be over for Batwoman. Despite renewals of The Flash and Superman and Lois, the CW doesn't seem to have plans for another season of The Scarlet Knight.
Why is it called The Scarlet Knight?
I have something in mind, but I can't say it.
Oh god, I don't want to know.
Use your imagination.
Ugh.
So as you can see here, the Batwoman Writer's Room with a check mark on Twitter, which apparently is a thing, posts out, Renew Batwoman. Join us on Twitter Saturday, April 2nd at 12 p.m. PDT, 2 p.m. CDT, and 3 p.m. EDT. Celebrate the arrival of Batwoman's third season on HBO Max. Stream Season 3 and share your appreciation, favorite scenes, memories, and why Batwoman should be renewed. Include Renew Batwoman in your posts. There's only one reason to have it renewed, and that's the people who actually review it who make it interesting.
Yeah, more interesting than the show itself actually is.
But what I find funny is the Batwoman Writer's Room, like a couple hours later, tweeted out that it was trending at, like, with 4,000 tweets, Renew Batwoman. It's like, no, fam, like the Bat fam.
It was more like 4,800 something. Didn't even break 5,000.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because it's like, yes, 4,000 people are going to convince everybody that this needs to be renewed.
Pathetic.
Spoiler alert, Twitter ain't real life.
Nope.
Getting a hashtag to trend on Twitter is meaningless.
Yeah.
If it's not making anybody money, it's not going to get renewed. I think what I'm predicting will happen is one of two things.
What?
One is it'll get renewed last minute.
Ugh.
Or two is that it will get canceled, but then Gotham Knights made by the same people will include Batwoman at some point.
Oh god. Either option is bad.
This show is a trash fire.
That's an insult to trash fires, my dear.
Yes, but if somebody here who's watching likes this show, I would question your taste.
I would question your sanity.
It's not good. It's not even the actress or whatever. It's literally the writing for the show.
It always starts with the writing.
They literally brought in like their own knockoff characters like Asian Poison Ivy and Black Joker.
Black Joker!
It's okay. Black Joker exists because the real Joker zapped random kid with his joy buzzer and it made him insane.
That's not how joy buzzers work.
And then the whole third season is literally trying to get the joy buzzer back so they could shock him back to sanity, because that's how it works, apparently.
That's not even how shock therapy works.
Nope. And it's very strange and not well written, and it's just bad.
Not to mention the bat blimp.
Yeah, the Batman has a blimp, in case you guys wanted to know.
That's so stupid!
Quick, to the bat blimp!
Yeah, that's the sound it makes, but on a much louder scale.
You see, that face there on our image, that's what Batman's face is when he looks at this. He just goes, why am I losing brain cells, Alfred?
Anyone who watches this would lose brain cells. My condolences to anyone who was tragic enough to review this show.
It's not likely to get renewed this time. If it does, it'll just... You get to see, like, it'll be playing a game of Limbo. How low can the ratings go?
Oof. Probably lower than Naomi at this point.
They really need to hire people who can actually write.
You can hire me, but I don't want to work for you.
Even then, like, I wouldn't let you.
Yeah, I would rather preserve my sanity.
Well, who would even want to work for this brand that's been tarnished beyond recognition at this point?
Not I.
Do you remember when it used to be good? Remember it used to have, like, Supernatural in the first couple seasons of Arrow and Flash, and it was when it was really good. And then it became really bad.
First season of Riverdale was not bad, but it was odd. It didn't really match the Archie comics.
I don't know. Look, this is not going to get renewed, probably. If it hasn't been renewed by now, it's not going to. And making a hashtag trend on Twitter will not fix that.
No.
But good luck. Maybe you want to actually go back to school and learn how to write first before you actually, write a show.
Probably a good idea.
And by the way, writing in your diary doesn't count.
No. Next up is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Not a great plan. According to Joe Russo, the director behind the last two Captain America and Avengers films, there isn't really a plan when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
No kidding!
Really? I am so shocked right now. This is totally not something I ever saw coming, nor ever had an inkling about behind the scenes or anything like that.
We could all tell just by the direction the movies were going in.
To some degree, I get where they're coming from. They mention that they don't have a plan because having things set certain ways makes it something that's difficult for them to build around or be more spontaneous.
True.
However, when you're making a overarching story, and then you make a movie called Endgame, and then your plan is, well, we're going to keep going afterwards, you have to set that up, which you didn't do, first off.
Not at all.
Second off, the stuff that's been coming out now has been garbage. I mean, for the most part. If you liked it, you're more than welcome to like it. But most of the stuff that's come out has not been of the same quality as what we got in the beginning. To find out that there is no plan, no one's surprised.
Not at all.
I don't think that no plan is helping you now. Again, I get having a more flexible plan and having maybe a kind of goal in mind and how you get there, leaving it a little more vague. That would actually be worth it. But building the frame of a puzzle and then putting the pieces together how you like.
Whatever. What they should have done was use Endgame to introduce Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, we've talked about that, and they introduced him in the Loki series, spoiler for anybody who cares.
And it was not Kang.
Regardless, this hasn't been as well received as the first Avengers and whatever, and so I'm not looking forward to anything coming out of there now. I did like Spider-Man No Way Home, but that was for different reasons.
Mm-hmm. No Way Home was a great movie.
Yeah. This Phase 4 looks terrible so far compared to that. And again, I'm not saying there hasn't been some good moments or some laughs or things that you could like. I'm saying that compared objectively to what we got before, it's much less quality.
Yeah, overall, it's much less appealing.
I'm not going to go watch them, but good luck with that. I think you're going to need it. Have fun. Like, what else am I supposed to tell you? You have no plan, and that's not helping you anyway. And you're just gonna go tell us that you have no plan, which everybody's not surprised to hear.
Yay?
Oh boy.
Popcorn?
No more popcorn.
Fine.
Plus, popcorn might actually mean it was entertaining, and it's not entertaining to watch it fail because you get called a bigot or misogynist or whatever it is if you don't like stuff.
How can I be a misogynist if I myself am a woman?
You're an internalized misogynist.
How if I myself am a woman?
You're an internalized misogynist.
That makes absolutely no sense.
Logic doesn't matter.
Oh right, it's Twitter.
Again, not surprised to hear this. I think it's funny that they come out and say it.
Yeah. I agree with you there.
I'll give you points for honesty.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it.
But in this case, I don't think honesty is the best policy. You probably would have served yourself better just being quiet.
Yeah, probably. Let's move on. Our next client is Stephen Moffat and Doctor Who.
We are the same, bigger on the inside, but with little substance these days.
Not wrong.
Former Doctor Who showrunner Stephen Moffat has suggested that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is becoming more like Doctor Who, and not the other way around.
What does that even mean?
So, are you implying that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has become crap? Because if that's what you're implying, then yes.
Don't insult crap.
The point I'm making is if he's saying that it's becoming more like Doctor Who, and like current day Doctor Who, then yes, he's right.
Okay, fair.
If not, what Marvel Cinematic Universe have you been watching? Because I'd like to see it.
I mean, he's not wrong with the part about them replacing everyone with women.
I think he's trying to imply that it's like the quality of like his stuff or whatever, which it was not. To be fair, Moffat wasn't perfect as a showrunner either. Don't get me wrong.
But he did write some pretty good episodes.
Yes. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is not becoming like Doctor Who, nor is it the other way around. Unless you're saying that they both have comparable levels of suck, which can be argued, but actually sounds pretty fair to say. Mm-hmm. Why even comment on this?
No idea.
First off, you're not even in charge of Doctor Who anymore. Second off, Doctor Who's in a terrible, terrible place based on the ratings. Not saying people can't like it, but based on the objective ratings, it is not in a good place. I'm sorry if that bothers you.
Maybe he just wanted some relevancy.
Probably. I don't think that's going to get you more interest on any of your projects. I think that this is kind of funny, because again, you are 100% right, Stephen. Both the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Doctor Who are becoming more alike, as in they both suck.
Yeah, and not even popcorn levels of suck.
You and the popcorn today.
What? I'm hungry.
Well, I'm saying basically that these two things they started off really, really well with really great stories and really, really great constructed worlds, and then they went to crap.
Yes, absolute crap.
Long story short is that I don't really get what point you're trying to make here. Unless you're making the point that I said, in which case you're right on the money. If you're not making that point, then I don't know why you had to open your mouth, because not only are you wrong, you just look stupid.
Yeah. Doctor Who's great. Was great, and now it sucks.
And the MCU was great, and now it sucks. They're the same!
Yay!
And no one cared.
Let us move on. Next in our waiting room is America Chavez.
Ahead of her upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe debut in the upcoming Doctor Strange The Multiverse of Madness, America Chavez creator Joe Casey has shared his opinion that her live-action appearance is extremely important, because our fiction should reflect our reality, and reality is obviously multicultural.
Fiction is not supposed to reflect reality. That's why it is called fiction!
Yeah, that's like something you learn like really early in school. Were you out sick that day, Joe? Now, if you'll look in the windows behind America Chavez, you'll see that I actually put Joe in various forms in the back looking out the window.
Looks like a stalker.
But look at that art.
Ugh.
She looks like she has the most derp face I've ever seen.
Derpity, derp, derp, derp.
Fiction is away from our reality. So to say that your fiction should reflect reality makes absolutely no sense.
No, because fiction and reality are not the same thing.
They shouldn't reflect each other at all.
Fiction, unlike reality, is actually supposed to make sense.
If this is supposed to reflect reality, it's doing it poorly.
Very.
And if it wasn't supposed to reflect reality, it's still doing it poorly.
Very.
I've also heard he's not getting paid very much for his involvement of this character because she's different from the comics, so they don't have to pay her as much. I don't know. I don't think her live-action appearance is that important. I think the actress seems very nice. I have no interest in this character. I don't care how they change her. I'm not going to go see her. I'm not going to go watch it. If you like her, you're more than welcome to like her and go ahead and have fun. But I'm not interested in this character. It's not something I find interesting at all. I don't think it's as important as you think. At this point, things are very diverse, so including this character doesn't make any sense because things were already diverse. And she wasn't the best choice of character. There were plenty of other choices that you could have chosen that would have been diverse and would have actually fit better.
Like Dr. Voodoo?
Again, fiction, not the same as reality. Not something you should have to be learning now.
Seriously, go back to school. Let's move on. And our last client of the day is Gina Carano.
Pop Culture Classroom, an organization that claims to inspire a love of learning, increases literacy, celebrates diversity, and builds community through the tools of popular culture and the power of self-expression, admitted they attempted to get actress Gina Carano removed from the upcoming Fan Expo Denver.
That is extremely against your claim.
Let's read what they had to say. Pop Culture Classroom is committed to creating a welcoming and inclusive spaces through our educational programs at Fan Expo Denver. PCC was not consulted on the booking of Gina Carano and opposes her involvement in the Fan Expo Denver event. Carano's past comments and actions are at a direct odds with our organization's mission to celebrate diversity and build inclusive pop culture spaces where all feel welcome. We've expressed our opposition to the team at Fan Expo Denver, and Carano will not be participating in any of Pop Culture Classroom's educational programs or activities during the event.
And what do either of you gain or lose?
You're making a statement like this, which again, more people like Gina than don't. First off. Second, if you're trying to make an inclusive space by excluding people, you're not making an inclusive space.
It's the exact opposite, but that's a given.
And she's still coming. You know what you could have done? You could have just said, hey, we're not having her involved in our stuff. But no, you had to make a huge statement because you were hoping for Twitter clout. How's that going for you?
Probably not very well.
Nope. Gina didn't do anything wrong.
Not at all.
A lot of people, other people who work for Star Wars and work for Lucasfilm, whatever, have done things worse than she has and are still having their jobs. And I'm not going to call out names, but you guys have an idea of who I'm talking about. Gina never actually said some of those things. And I'm saying this as a Jewish person.
We are Jewish, and in our eyes, she did not say anything wrong. And it wasn't even her words.
I don't know. Look, Gina didn't say any of these kinds of things. Making this big statement was obviously trying to get you attention. I don't think it's gotten you the attention that you wanted to. And here's the thing. There are a lot of people angry at her that she's going and they made this decision. I think it's a great decision. I think that you can't expect people to be canceled forever.
No.
Don't want to see her? Don't go to her booth.
Simple as that.
Logic. Problem. Solved.
But Twitter doesn't have logic.
It does. It just doesn't make actual sense. So it's a type of logic that is logic in name only.
So it's illogical logic.
Stupid idea. As you can see, I made them with the clown nose and they're crying and Baby Yoda's looking at them like, what? Cry harder. You can't expect people to be canceled forever. And be quiet.
Pretty much. Let's move on. So with that being our last client today, it is now time to reveal the diagnosis of the week.
And we have an interesting diagnosis for you today.
Do tell.
Our diagnosis of the week is anosognosia.
Please explain.
Anosognosia is an inability or refusal to recognize a defect or disorder that is clinically evident. Basically, it's people who lack awareness of their own disabilities. This can come in many forms, but we think that this is coming out very much so in the current pop culture environment. A lot of these people do make all these changes, do all these things without recognizing that they're doing it for the wrong reason. And that even doing it for the wrong reason doesn't get them the right money. People see through this stuff now. People are waking up. So these people are the only ones who still don't get that the majority of people are looking at them and see them for what they really are. These people are so out of touch that they can't even recognize just how out of touch that they are. And just how much they're delusional and buying into all this stuff with the idea that it will make them money, and every time it backfires. But they continue to push it because it's about the message, not the money. But eventually, one day, they'll wake up. And when that day happens, it'll be interesting. More people are waking up. So they may have lack of awareness, but we all seem to be getting more and more each day. But I do think this is a great diagnosis for this week.
I agree.
And now we move on to the remedy of the week.
And this week, we will be sending you to Purple Valkyrie. We were recently on a stream with her last week, and she celebrated her birthday, which we thought would be a good reason to shout her out.
Yeah, she does reviews of different things. She also does true crime, as well as some other live shows as well. Her channel is Rise and Shine with Purple Valkyrie, so grab your flying horses and your spears.
I was gonna say spears, but yeah.
And head on over there and tell her
Gothic Therapy referred you.
Indeed. But yeah, that's all we have for this week. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and also make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe with notifications on so you do not miss your weekly therapy session.
Or you will be charged.
Also, remember, if you subscribe, your first session is free.
Indeed. Also, you can find links to both of our socials in the description below, as well as a link to our merch store and our Discord server known as The Clinic. Be sure to check those out.
Yeah, but that's all we have for this week. Again, there won't be a Psycho-Synopsis going forward for a little bit, but we will have content, so stay tuned for that. And so, until next time.
We'll see you in the next one. Gothic Therapy, out.